Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Well, prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future and renders the present inaccessible. Yet in a recent survey conducted by Matrix Recruitment, 74% of respondents stated that discrimination exists within their workplace. Here to tell us more about discrimination in the workplace and how it can be addressed is Rena Weld, the Regional Recruitment Manager with Matrix Recruitment. Rena, before we discuss the findings of this survey, talk to us about Matrix Recruitment and its areas of specialism.
Good morning, Karl. Thank you so much for having me. So Matrix Recruitment provides talent solutions to clients and work with job seekers across Ireland. The main areas that we specialise are across supply chain, accountancy and financial services, healthcare, office and IT support, and then technical, so the likes of engineering, manufacturing, quality lab. Those are our main areas of specialism.
Is there an availability of talent across those areas?
Certainly in some areas we're seeing more shortage of talent than others. So say for the likes of, your accountancy, some areas of technical as well, there are tight talent shortages.
Matrix Recruitment recently published its annual Workplace Equality Report. So what were the key findings?
74% of workers in Ireland say there is a discrimination issue in their workplace. A quarter of respondents actually noticed a rise in far-right sentiment. Those two coupled with the fact that 77% have either left or considered leaving a job due to discrimination brings me back, I suppose, to what we were just talking about there and the talent shortage, in Ireland. So employers really need to look at these stats, particularly around retaining talent and attracting talent. And what I'd be saying is for them to bring these stats back. We can see, look, there are some issues identified here from respondents. Bring that back and do a bit of a health check in their own organisation and see what their diversity, equality and inclusion policies are and how those efforts are working in their individual workplaces.
And from your insights, what is the root cause of these issues?
In terms of, I suppose it will depend on the various different issues. If we take, say, far-right sentiment, how we're seeing it manifest or how it's being reported as manifesting in the workplace are through discriminatory remarks or jokes, verified facts around minority groups being dismissed, the spread of misinformation or conspiracy theories within the workplace, and actually the opposition to diversity and inclusion efforts.
And was there any good indicators that gender equality in the workplace is improving?
There was, yes. So there was about 37% that said the glass ceiling for women, that is slowly improving. And we do look at as well the gender pay gap reporting framework that came in 2022. And for 2024, what that meant was that employers with 150 employees or more had to actually report legally any gender pay gap information that they had. And that's actually going to go down further to any employers with 50 employees or more from 2025. So that's when that's expected. So that should help, significantly again to reduce this kind of inequality in the workplace.
What did your survey reveal in relation to ageism, specifically with regard to staff over 50?
In relation to staff over 50, there were a few stats. So 71% of the survey respondents believe workers over 50 have fewer promotional opportunities than younger colleagues. And then on the other side, 96%, which is great to see, believe that over 50s contribute as much as younger workers. And they were citing things like, years of experience, loyalty, mentorship, reliability. So there are plenty of good mentalities there in the workplace. On the other hand, I suppose that there was about over half of respondents who stated that older workers struggle with technology. So it does show the need for upskilling in the workplace. And I don't know about you, Karl, but certainly for me, with the rate that technology is advancing, I struggle to keep up, year on year with all the new apps, all the new technology, the constant advancement. So actually, I think this is needed for all workers, this need to upskill constantly on technology. And when we look at the retirement age, becoming higher and higher and higher, it's even more evident for the need to be, for employers to have the provisions in place for constant upskilling in the workplace.
We're hearing lots about the term misinformation when it comes to social media platforms, but is that now part and parcel of the workplace environments as well?
What we're seeing from the survey is that 48% of respondents see the spread of misinformation or conspiracy theories. So, I mean, it's quite worrying, really, that statistic right there, but that's what the respondents are reporting. So, again, what I'd say is the reason that Matrix Recruitment do this survey is to show employers, okay, well, these are, real life perceptions of workers in Ireland. So we aim to add value by showing and highlighting these perceptions and issues in the workplace in Ireland. And again, employers can take this back, do a health check on their own organisation. It may depend on the size of the organisation, the maturity of their diversity, equality and inclusion policies. And I think the key thing to look at when even looking at, misinformation is looking at intentional inclusion and early education and communication to workers. So making sure that all workers in the workplace really understand unconscious bias and what, I suppose, unwanted behaviours around discrimination look like in the workplace. Because again, not all discrimination is always intentional. So we do have to look at that as well and really provide the training, the education, build the diversity, equality and inclusion strategies into the organisation's key goals and objectives, and really have, right from the leaders, built into the day-to-day or the everyday operations of the company, showing that there'll be zero tolerance within the workplace and providing that safe and protected workplace so that everybody does feel included. And this allows as well employees to work together, towards common goals and really come together for that. And that is good for both the business and for the employees.
For employers that are listening this morning that may have concerns about their own work environment and maybe they're not aware of some of the issues pertaining to discrimination, what is the starting point to identify them?
I think the starting point is acceptance and saying, okay, well, look, maybe this is more prevalent than what I thought. As you rightly said, I think many employers perhaps aren't aware that it is as prevalent as what it is. And then from there, taking the results, coming back to their organisation, first checking, well, do we have a diversity, equality and inclusion policy in place? If they do, they need to kind of look at it and see, well, okay, is it working? As I mentioned there, just employee surveys and getting the employees involved in all of this can be really beneficial to get a good snapshot of what's actually going on in their individual organisation. And then making sure that there is that education piece, around unconscious bias and what discriminatory behaviour looks like in the workplace. So where there is already strategy in place, I would say look for any gaps if they feel it's not working, and if they feel that discrimination is still manifesting within the workforce, they can look, okay, well, look, our senior leadership team all completely, involved in this, or where are the gaps? If they don't have one yet, what I would say is it's very important, and the results from the survey really highlight the importance of having a strategy in place. So from there, they can go about looking at actually implementing one. And for smaller organisations, look, I know this is another thing, smaller organisations, SMEs are already managing so much and have so much on their plate. So there are external consultancies that they can go out to for assistance, HR or legal consultancies that can assist if they are looking for that additional help as well.
And of course, it's an important area because if the companies don't have an equality policy and they don't have proper procedures in place, they could face a claim under the Equality Act, which would go to the Workplace Relations Commission.
Certainly, yes, that is one side. And then another side, even what I'd say to support the need for this is if we look at that 77% who have either left or considered leaving a job due to discrimination, coupled with the fact that 97% of respondents say employers should actively provide support. These speak volumes in terms of supporting a positive culture and making sure the culture is right and that discrimination is not manifesting itself in the workplace, because that's not a nice culture for many employees. I mean, again, at Matrix, we work with many different job seekers, and some of the top, or one of the top criteria they look for at the moment is a positive culture in an organisation. And people have a lot of access to, looking this up online, so it is key for talent retention and talent attraction as well. So it does, as well as it being good for the people and having, a nice place to work, a safe place to work for people, it also makes good business sense.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Rena Weld, Regional Recruitment Manager with Matrix Recruitment, and I'd like to thank Rena for taking the time to put the spotlight on this serious organisational issue.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.